Today at 5, this man is facing more charges for not admitting to 2 Lethbridge women that he was HIV positive. Plus, the company behind a proposed drilling project speaks to the community about its plans. And recognizing local seniors' leadership.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. A Calgary man is facing more charges after 2 Lethbridge women came forward claiming he had unprotected sex with them but did not admit that he is HIV positive. 41-year-old John Joseph McNamara now faces 8 counts of aggravated sexual assault for not revealing he was HIV positive to 8 women he was involved with. Now, the 2 Lethbridge women say they were in relationships with McNamara between March of 2012 and July of 2012. They came forward after learning about the case in the media. The other 6 women are from Calgary, Airdrie, and Innisfail. Some of the women met McNamara through an online dating site.
Parallel that of the Calgary Police investigation. This is a social media communication between Mr. McNamara and all the identified victims. And they basically meet, there was encounters, aggravated sex assault charges arise. The precaution that we have issued alongside of what the Calgary Police issued in June was that all persons out there are expressly advised to exercise protection with any sexual activity with Mr. McNamara.
As you just heard, police are urging any other victims to come forward and to contact their local police service, who will then notify the Calgary Police Service and then conduct a follow-up investigation. McNamara will be in court for a bail hearing on Monday. Meanwhile, a Calgary man is charged with indecent exposure after allegedly exposing himself to a family at a Lethbridge hotel in their swimming pool. 35-year-old Keith Fetishan is scheduled to appear in Lethbridge court on November the 9th. And a man involved in a shooting at a Lethbridge nightclub has been sentenced to 6 years behind bar. Rage Islo, Abradama Islo, and Yaqub Ali were all charged with attempted murder in connection to a shooting at Studio 54 nightclub back in April of 2012. A 30-year-old Ottawa man was shot in the body during the incident. Islo was sentenced to 72 months in a federal penitentiary after pleading guilty to assault using a firearm with the intent to wound. Islo's cousins, Yaqub Ali and Abradama Islo, were sentenced last month to jail terms of 12 months each. And a Medicine Hat man is facing a slew of weapons charges after police got a call that someone was showing off some handguns on the back deck of a Medicine Hat home on Prairie Court Northeast. Police were called after a couple of handguns were showing up and a bag of 8 prohibited switchblades as well as butterfly knives were discovered Wednesday. After a search, police found even more guns and cocaine. The street value was close to $9,000. 42-year-old Lee Edward Turfitt is charged with 13 offenses. He'll be in court tomorrow. Dory Rossiter, a chilly night tonight, -5, some frost. Ooh.
I know. It's not as bad as New Brunswick. The entire province is under a frost warning. So, it's just little areas here and there in Alberta that have a possibility of seeing some frost tonight. But it'll all be a memory by this weekend. Stay tuned for the weekend numbers.
Okay, thank you, Dory. A Calgary oil company says it wants to be a good neighbor and hopes to address public concerns over 3 proposed wells within city limits. Golden Key Oil has secured the mineral rights for land not far from 2 Westside subdivisions. The city, it's urging the company not to drill. And today, Golden Key executives responded to their concerns at a public meeting. Terry Vogt was there.
We're going to talk a little bit about the kinds of issues that face projects of this nature.
The Golden Key Penny project involves drilling 3 exploratory oil wells on 2 sites near a pair of growing West Lethbridge subdivisions, west of Sunridge, south of Copperwood. The company describes the project as a conventional fracking job and says it's even willing to put in a sunset clause to close down the wells when the city is ready to develop the area.
We're very open to having those kind of discussions ongoing with the city to see how we can, be good neighbors and work with them as they develop and grow.
And we all know there is no oil shortage in Alberta. Why are you have to drill in the city limits?
But this mainly anti-drilling crowd isn't convinced the project's a good idea. They drilled Golden Key oil on the chemicals they'll be using in the fracking process, on the levels of sour gas the wells will be giving off, and raised questions about the standards currently being imposed by the Alberta Energy Regulator.
This is part of the reason that our coalition of groups in the city is launching a petition to prevent oil and gas development within the municipal boundary.
The city is also opposed, but has no say in whether the development goes ahead. MLA Bridget Pasteur says she can understand the concerns, but has confidence in provincial legislation if it's enforced.
Well, I'm here to listen for now, and I'm not sure that I would come out with a yes or a no until I personally have a lot more information.
Golden Key's approach in this is that they may be viewed as hurdles or challenges, but they're also opportunities for some constructive dialogue and perhaps some creative mitigation measures.
Golden Key assured this group its planned safety measures will meet and in many cases exceed standards. But critics say they don't buy the slick presentation. Their concern is that these 3 wells are the thin edge of the wedge that could set the stage for more development in the future. Golden Key says it's currently in early consultation stages of this project. They have a public meeting scheduled for October 24th, and other meetings are planned with interest groups and stakeholders. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Well, the company has acquired mineral rights for the land. It doesn't yet have a license to go ahead with the drilling. With 4 candidates running for mayor and 29 for 8 councillor seats on Lethbridge City Council, this year's municipal election promises to be hotly contested. A forum for mayoral candidates will be held tonight between 7 and 9 at the Lethbridge Public Library. It will be conducted using formulated and audience questions. The public is encouraged to come out and get your concerns heard. And remember, voting takes place on Monday, October the 21st. Well, the 35-year-old driver of a Palliser school bus has been charged in connection with a collision that seriously injured a cyclist last month. The cyclist was hit by a bus along Whoop-Up Drive West on September the 17th. 53-year-old woman was taken to hospital in serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Brandy Netta Ann Meckelberg of Lethbridge is charged with 1 count of driving too fast for the conditions. It's an intersection notorious for collisions, and RCMP say there's already been several crashes there this year. The latest incident happened yesterday afternoon at the westbound Highway 3 entrance to Colehurst at around 3 p.m. 2 vehicles collided when a car tried to cross the highway and then was hit by a westbound vehicle. Both drivers were treated at the scene. Charges were laid against one of the drivers for failing to cross the highway safely.
Just making sure that it's clear before you go. I know that that intersection we've had, I believe, according to the firefighters saying we've had 4. I've only been able to see 3 on our own systems. But again, the thing there being is that it is a busy highway and you need to be sure that you're clear before you can go ahead.
Halloween is a $1.5 billion business, and some want to get in on the action. With Halloween only a few short weeks away, many residents are gearing up for the occasion. Spooky costumes, dressing up the kids for a night of knocking doors and spreading the spirit of Halloween will soon be upon us, and that means great business for some. Keaton Gerberbach reports.
Vampire, because they're awesome.
Yeah? Why are they awesome?
Because they just go around and suck people's blood. Like, you can't do that when you're a human.
Halloween. Time to pick up some spooky decorations and stir up some ideas for costumes. Business is booming for those selling skeletons and other gruesome items. Many shoppers say they're buying in.
Halloween's the new Christmas, right? Like, it's a big event, so everybody comes out and they spend a lot of money on costumes and do a great job dressing up. My husband kind of goes all out. He decorates the house all up with lights and decorations, and, you know, we do the whole 9 yards, so we get a lot of activity on our block.
Halloween is becoming big business. These specialty stores only open up for a few months, but Terry Millwater of Halloween Alley says it's worth it, although it comes with some added difficulty.
Biggest challenge is staffing. I'm lucky. I got some great staff that have followed me around for years. So that's a tough one because it is seasonal. So you're looking for people that, you know, want temporary employment
Employees say there's been a few costumes selling quicker than others. They say it's never too early to start searching for that creative costume.
Everyone's really liking the zombies. We had the zombie walk earlier this in September, so everyone came in for zombies, and it's still a pretty hot seller. We've been noticing that people are getting more and more earlier. So they come in earlier and earlier to kind of get prepared and get the good selection while it's still here before it's sold out.
So whether you're headed out with your kids to scare up some candy, or dressing up to remind yourself of what it's like to be a witch for an evening, it's sure to be a hair-raising night. Keaton Gerbavac, CTV News, Lethbridge.
For very distinct members of the community, we're honored today at the annual Seniors of Distinction event. That's Lainey Shields embracing CTV's Dory Rossiter. Shields is the recipient of the Leadership Award, which recognizes the 28 tireless years of volunteer work she has contributed to the Lethbridge and Regional Humane Society. 4 separate awards were given out this afternoon at the event held at the Columbia Senior Center.
Well, we know that seniors are involved in the community, and certainly a lot of times they go unrecognized within the community. So what we'd like to do is at least recognize their achievements, their accomplishments, their contributions to the community.
Well, I thought it was just fun to be nominated. I'd never thought I would get it, so it's kind of cool. Well, first I thought it would be fun, you know, something to do, because the kids were growing up and stuff, and I chose the Humane Society because I'm quite passionate about animals.
Congratulations, Lainey, and to all the nominees. Well, some surprises in the markets today on day 3 of the U.S. federal government shutdown. While crude oil and the loonie were up, TSX was down, and the Dow fell by 136 basis points. Dory straight ahead with a forecast in 2 minutes.